Resilience. It's everywhere. It's in our homes, in our workplaces, in our schools, on the sports field. It's even in wellness circles. But back in the day, it used to be called, "You'll be grand, get over yourself." So "You'll be grand, get over yourself" has gone through a serious rebranding because now it comes with wellness apps and a subscription fee. But here's the real question. How resilient are we supposed to be? How resilient are we expected to be? And where is this finish line in this never-ending marathon of more resilience? Let's rewind. The word resilience means to spring back. That's the message. Bounce back. Bounce back after childbirth, after burnout, after grief. But we are not trampolines. We are human, with nervous systems, with limits. And then there's that phrase, empowering resilience, and that's the title of this TEDx event. And it's lovely, right? It's uplifting, it's stirring. You could practically hear the string sections. Well, that's if we had an orchestra in the pit. We don't today. But when I first saw that, I thought, empowering resilience? Really? How much more resilience are we expected to muster? Because here's the truth. We wear resilience like a badge of honor. We're supposed to keep going no matter how heavy it gets, bounce back, rise up again and again and again. And look, I love a comeback story as much as the next person, but if we are constantly empowering people to be more resilient without changing the structures that are exhausting them in the first place, what we're actually doing is asking people to survive environments that aren't built for human well-being. At what point do we stop applauding people for soldiering on and start asking why they have to? At what point do we say, maybe resilience isn't about pushing through, maybe it's about pausing? Maybe the most empowered thing you can do is to protect your energy, to honor your limits, and to say, no, thank you. That's enough. I matter too. So no offense to the organizers who've kindly given me this stage, but maybe we don't need to empower resilience. Maybe we need to empower rest. Maybe the most powerful thing that we could do is to know when to lie down. Back in 2018, I had my second beautiful little baby via C-section. And only weeks later, I was back on set as an actor, filming 2 seasons of a TV series, I'm sure you know which one it is, back to back. 80 days in total, 70-hour weeks, and at home, a toddler and a newborn. And I thought, I've got this. Spoiler alert, I didn't got this. And by the end, my body just said, no thanks, we're done here. And I herniated discs in my back, the first of many times. And if you've had that type of injury, you know that you don't bounce, you break. And I was on the floor. Eventually, I made it into a bed where I stayed for over a week. And I cried, and I sobbed, and I asked, what have I done to myself? But more importantly, I asked, why have I done this? And that's when it dawned on me. I did it because I was told to. Not by any one person, but by society itself. I had been programmed to keep going at all costs, the eventual cost of which was my own health. We are not machines. I do think we can have it all, but just maybe not all at once. Especially as women, we're expected to carry it all and to look amazing while doing it. But back then, I didn't carry it all, and I didn't look amazing because I collapsed. And in that collapse, I learned that resilience isn't about capacity. It's about healthy boundaries. And I'm not alone. In 2024, Harvard Business Review reported that 82% of the global workforce is on the cusp of burnout. It's 82%. The World Health Organization now classifies burnout as an occupational phenomenon. But there's good news. Neuroscience shows us that non-sleep deep rest increases our dopamine by up to 65%. That's not from doing, that's from being. Rest sharpens memory, lowers inflammation, and enhances creativity. It's not indulgent, it's actually essential. Studies show that when we rest, our brains enter a default mode, which is crucial for problem solving, innovation, and self-awareness. That's the space where breakthroughs are born. So rest isn't a reward, it's actually a strategy. But culturally, we treat rest like weakness, something we earn only after we collapse. We wear exhaustion like a badge of honor, and we celebrate burnout like it's the price of ambition. This is the trap of burnout culture, a culture that tries to disconnect you from your body, disconnect you from the feedback your body is constantly giving you. Because if you could hear your body clearly, you wouldn't tolerate half of what society demands of you. And especially as women, this disconnection runs deep. We're taught to override our needs, to keep giving, keep coping, even when we're running on fumes. Burnout becomes the norm, not the warning. But underneath that exhaustion is something more profound. It's a kind of spiritual depletion. It's not just that we're tired, it's that we are starved of meaning, of joy, of a sense of self that isn't tied to how much we do for others. Our bodies carry millions of years of biological intelligence. We just need enough stillness to hear what they have to say. We're currently in a rest deficit. Just like the planet, we're depleted. But rest looks different for everyone. It's not just sleep. There's rest for the body and there's rest for the mind. Even checking your eyelids for holes, as my uncle used to say, that counts too. And you don't have to earn it. That's the lie. Rest is a human rhythm and a human right. Think of nature. The lion rests for 13.5 hours a day, not because it's lazy, but to conserve energy for action. Early hunter-gatherers, they foraged only 10% of their time. The rest was spent in rest, ritual, and community. They understood the power of community. They knew that rest isn't the opposite of productivity. It's what makes productivity possible. The Celtic wheel of life reminds us that everything is cyclical. There's a time to bloom, a time to shed, a time to act, and a time to be still. We're not linear beings, but we live as if we are. Now, I know you might be thinking, okay, Hilary, all this talk about rest is great, but how actually do I do it? So there are many ways to achieve non-sleep deep rest. You can try meditation or yoga nidra, but here's my way. Now, I'll warn you, it's scientifically unproven, but it's highly effective. Would you like me to share it with you? Yes? Yes. Okay, here's my step-by-step guide. Step 1, boil the kettle. Step 2, make a cup of tea. Step 3, sit down. It's that simple. Okay, it's scientifically unproven, but there are millions of tea drinkers worldwide that can testify. Jokes aside, it's not just about the tea. This is a sacred ritual. This is the modern-day equivalent of gathering around the campfire. The bubbling water is your battle cry, but for serenity. When it comes to the choice of tea, well, anything will do, or if you're in Ireland, whatever your granny drank when she was shook. The point is, you're pausing. Did you know the optimal tea brewing time is 3 to 5 minutes as per instructions on the packet. I bet you never read the instructions on your packet of tea, right? That's 3 to 5 minutes that you get to pause. Maybe close your eyes. Take a deep breath. A deep breath, rather, not a deep breath. Take a deep breath and just be. That's 3 to 5 minutes of unutilized me time going to waste. And you're cupping something warm in your hands. You're literally cupping calm. Then there's the sitting, right? It's radical, I know, revolutionary even, but just sit. Not scroll, not sort laundry, just sit. Let the chair do its job. Let your spine surrender. You don't have to earn this moment. You're entitled to it. And here's the magic bit. There is absolutely nothing that can't be solved by sitting around over a cup of tea. Maybe not world peace in its current form, but nearly everything else. That time that I told you about back in 2018 when I collapsed, that felt like such a failure to me. But I now know that it was my body's way of guiding me back to strength through rest and lots of cups of tea. So the message here today is what I like to call the rest reset. Not rest as recovery, rest as resistance, rest as leadership. It's not laziness, it's wisdom. It's not giving up, it's taking your power back. So I invite you all today to rest like your future depends on it, because it does. Thank you.